Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about how do you make your home an asset and not a liability. So a lot of you all may not realize that your home is actually a liability and not an asset. Many times persons believe that once you buy a house, it is automatically an asset because it may actually have equity. But my advice today is to let you all know that that is far from the truth. It only depends on certain parameters that will determine if your home is actually an asset and not a liability. So let's get into it. So basically, an asset provides future economic benefit, whereas liabilities present a future obligation. Now, where businesses are concerned, an indicator of a successful business is one that has a high proportion of assets to liabilities, since this indicates a high degree of liquidity. Now, one must examine the ability of that business to convert an asset into cash within a short period of time. Even if there are far more assets than liabilities, a business cannot pay its liabilities in a timely manner if the assets cannot be converted into cash. And this is really a scenario where a business has a slow moving inventory. So for an individual, the primary asset may be his or her house, and offsetting this is a mortgage, which generally is a liability. You see, a lot of persons believe that once you invest in a home, you get that home, then you live in the home, then it's automatically an asset. And that is actually far from the truth. If that home is not earning you income enough to offset all taxes and all other expenses associated with having that home, then it becomes a liability. So let's put some numbers there. Say for instance, you purchase a home, and on a yearly basis you have to pay taxes, you have to pay maintenance, you have to pay bills, utilities, you have to do a lot of things associated with that house, and it actually is not earning you a single income, and what is actually associated with that house is just bills, and it is a liability. How you make that home into an asset is simply doing a number of things. You could actually utilize the home, renovate it, and actually move in some tenants, and that actually earns you income. So that income is going to be sufficient to be able to offset some of the expenses associated with the house, bills, property taxes, all these things, and also earn you some extra net income. You could also utilize your home, do some renovations and also invest in business. So you could actually open an office at home and you utilize that to generate income. So you might have an advisory firm, you might have a legal firm, you might have a doctor office. All these things are going to generate income that are going to actually make your house an asset. But if you just purchase that home and decide to live in it and just, do all the expenses, maintenance, pay all the bills and so on associated with the home, and it's not generating any income, what you have in your hand is a liability. All this to say, once you purchase something, always evaluate it to determine whether it is an asset or a liability. Do not assume something is an asset or liability based on trends or what somebody said. So let me give you a little example to zone in on. Many people believe that once you purchase a home, because it's capable of appreciating, it makes it an asset. Let me point this to you in a different direction. If you have a home, yes, it's appreciating. Let's say it's appreciating at, let's say, 5,000 per annum. Let's say per annum, it's appreciating 5,000 TT. But let's say every year the expenses associated with that home is about 6,000 or 7,000. So generally, it's appreciating 5,000 per annum. But every year, maintenance, property taxes, all these things costing you 7,000. The net of that is 2,000. Is it really an asset or a liability? If you said it's a liability, you're quite right, because it really is losing you money every year having that property. The only way to solve that is to turn that property from a liability into an asset. And the best way to do it is now incorporate that property into the assets for your business. You have a business, you open up an office, and that office now generates $50,000 per annum. The expenses you had was $7,000 per annum. So now you make a profit of $43,000. So now your home is an asset. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for more. We have a lot coming.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Dr. Marcus George Network today.
Subscribe now to be notified of all upcoming videos.